Okay, and we're on the air. This is the OSRA client meeting for Sunday, December 14th, 2014. Here from the client, we have Ahmed and Tarek, and from the dev team, we have Andre, Brian, Christian, Pavel, and myself. So I thought what we can start with is just by quickly going through the tasks that are still, that remain to be finished before phase 0 completion. And we'll give you a quick update on where everything is. And then if there are any questions, comments, etc., concerns, we can discuss that. So this story, adding the start date and end date to sponsorships, we've sent that to you, and we got feedback from Ahmed, if I can find it here. Right here, I think, yes. So the feedback is about validation of the dates, the format of the dates, and I think that's about it. And at this point, number 6, Ahmed, I remember that we've discussed it in the past, and that this is something ultimately that we would like to be able to do this within the application. All these sorts of more complex validations, and for the application to be aware of the dates. But at that time, we'd agreed that this is something for phase 0 or even, sorry, for phase 1 or even phase 2. So we're working on the points number 1 through 5, and they should be ready for delivery to you very soon.
Great.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
all right.
Thank you very much.
Is there anything else regarding this story to discuss?
It's fine from my side. How about you, Ahmed?
Yeah, this is it.
Okay,
This is it.
great. Moving on, so this is the orphan list import. We've updated it to handle version 2.3 Excel spreadsheets that you have now. And what I see on Google Plus is that Ranim had posted a concern about how this importer functions, or how it maybe fails to function. So I'll try to I'll look into this a bit more closely. It's unfortunate that she's not here to tell us what exactly, maybe to describe this in a bit more detail, but I'll look through this and I'll try to replicate the problem myself, and then maybe send her a message if we need some kind of clarification. And so far, I think this has been the only feedback on the importer, so hopefully, other than this issue, things are okay here. Ahmed, Tarek, do you have anything to say about the importer? Have you had a chance to use it?
Actually, yes, we used it as you told us, and we tried it. Most of the time, this is Ranim's job.
Okay.
She knows how to test such stuff because she used to do it like as a job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I tried it. I found no problem. She said that there are a few things she wants to try, but unfortunately she got sick today and she couldn't make it to the meeting.
Okay. So yeah, like I said, I'll try to reproduce that problem and then communicate with her a bit more if I need any more information. And finally, we have these two stories. They're actually part of one story, which is basically, again, it's related to the import, and it's about validating that orphans are unique. So when you import a list of orphans, there needs to be a validation that the orphans that are being imported don't already exist in the database, and also that the spreadsheet that is being imported doesn't have duplicate records within it. We're very close. So we already have a validation in place where if you try to re-import the same record into the database, you will get an error. And we're very close to implementing the validation for duplicate records within the same spreadsheet. So I'm hoping that within the next couple of days, we'll send this back to you, and you'll be able to review it as well.
Okay, great.
Okay. So I think that's it for the updates that I have on Phase 0 stories. We've been working on a few other things. There are primarily just refinements to existing functionalities. So you shouldn't notice any changes, really, in the interface. They're mostly behind the scenes. We're just making our code more efficient. And I know that I've said this many times before, so I won't say it this time, that by the end of the week or by the end of next week, we should be ready to go live, because apparently I keep overestimating our abilities, or maybe underestimating the difficulties of the stories that we're working on. But again, we're very, very close. I think we can be cautiously optimistic, at least. And I hope that all these delays are not frustrating you too much.
No, actually, this is fine. I know what you're being through, and this is totally fine. Thank you very much for doing it in the first place.
All right. Okay, Andre, you had a clarification, I think you had.
Yeah, I've been working on the user stories that concern the display of the dates, right? And I'm now a little bit confused with the differences that we have in the formats of dates. So I wondered whether you have any wishes about how the dates should be displayed. So if I just screen share and show you a couple of cases where I would love your input. So I'm screen sharing, I think. So this is one of the tests that I've been working on, right? And in this test, I had to add the start date of the sponsorship. And Nikita said that he received the request to show it in the format month and year, but we did not quite understand. We were not entirely positive whether you wished month in this digital format, like December 2014 would be 12/14, or whether you would prefer it to be spelled out as an English word, December 2014. And the same basically goes, here is another task where I'm adding the created at and updated at fields for different models, for orphans, partners, and I think sponsors. So again, in which format would you prefer to see the created at and updated at? Should it be the English word for the month, December, the date, and the year, or do you wish some just a digital format where it would be numbers for the month, numbers for the date, numbers for the year? So do you have any particular wishes?
Okay, I will apply for this. We actually prefer to have the number of the date and the number of the month than the 4 digits number of the year. That means today is 15 of 12 to 15/12/2014.
I don't think I quite caught your last sentence. So you would prefer it to be, let me show you.
DDMYYYY.
Yeah. So this, for example, instead of December 11th, 2014, you would prefer it to be 11/12/2014.
Right.
Okay.
So day, month, year.
Excuse me?
In day, month, year.
Right.
In the day, month, year format.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. And here, when you were concerned only with the month and the year, you would prefer it to be the month 12,
Then,
2014. Right?
yeah, exactly like this.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
And yeah, and the date of birth. Do we even need this date of birth? So would you prefer this format to be universal? So all the dates will be showing in this format.
Yeah, all the dates should be in this form.
Okay, cool.
Okay,
Good,
please.
good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry I forgot to introduce. We have two new team members, Andre and Christian. They joined us within the past week, 2 weeks, guys.
Yeah, within the past week. Yeah.
So they are very eager to start contributing, and I think we're all looking forward to the start of phase 1 because there will be a lot more new tasks and interesting tasks to handle. So welcome, Andre and Christian, and
Thank you.
Tarek and Ahmed. You'll hopefully see much more of them.
Yeah,
Thank you.
welcome, and thank you very much for doing this.
Thank you.
Nice to join us, and nice to join this wonderful team.
Yeah, the team is wonderful. Thanks for the opportunity to learn.
Yeah, your team is wonderful, actually. We
All right.
are learning a lot of things from them, and it's a good chance to join them also.
Great, guys. Is there anything else that we need to talk about? I think this is we all the stories that are ready for you. We've sent to you, and I mentioned them already.
Mm.
And is there anything else at this point that you see as a requirement for phase 0, other than the stories that we've discussed?
Ahmed?
No.
No, actually, I think this is it.
Okay.
We will not need anything else, and we will be ready soon with all the Excel files and the information. We'll get them ready to be imported to the system.
Okay, terrific. Okay, if there's nothing else, then Ahmed and Tarek, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Again, we'll keep communicating, of course, throughout the week.
Absolutely.
And let's probably have another client meeting same time next week.
Okay. Is there anything that we did not respond to in the Google Plus?
No, I think everything has been addressed. So
Okay,
yeah,
so
we're working on the fixes. Yeah.
So I will unpin the post that we pinned it before.
Yeah, I think you might as well. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you,
Okay.
and good night.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay,
Bye.
bye.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Dev team, can you hang around just for a bit more?
Sure.
Pavel, anything to add at this point?
Yes, I think we need to briefly discuss what we haven't finished and our plans for the next week, like mini plan, you know.
Okay.
Because I see that we're only one flagged item, it's validated for other.
Sorry, I'm getting a lot of feedback from somewhere.
Yeah, that must be a mobile phone from Christian or something.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, Pavel, sorry, can you repeat what you were saying?
Yes, as I understand, to go into production, we just need to resolve all flagged issues, but the only one flagged issue is OSRA 276, right?
Well, so 276 is a subtask of 264. So this is essentially one issue, not two. OSRA 221, I got feedback from Raneem about half an hour ago.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I need to read it more carefully and understand what she did and what the problem is, etc. So there might be another subtask or a bug fix that comes out of here. And then for OSRA 208, I think, do we have the new subtasks anywhere or no? So actually, this subtask 284, it's a part of 208, and Brian is working So we got feedback that had 5 different points on OSRA 208, and Andre has addressed one of them with OSRA 284, and as I understand it, Brian is working on addressing the others. Is that correct, Brian?
I was not sure about that one, so I can do that. Yes, I wasn't doing that.
Okay.
I was unclear about what needed to be changed.
Okay, so let's, to make sure that we're all clear on this. Okay. So this is the feedback here, and we can ignore point 6. Point 5, this is what Andre has addressed, that there is now a way to see the start date of a sponsorship. Point 4, so we need a validation to ensure that the end date of a sponsorship cannot be before the beginning of the sponsorship. So this needs to be a validation on the model. Okay, the format, this is something, again, that you've taken care of, Andre.
Yep. But
And
this
yes.
is the format, if I understand correctly, this is the format only for one field, for one column field. So typically they want date, date, month, year, but for one of the columns they just wanted month and year.
That's right, because from what we discussed last time, and from what I understand about the way they operate, basically sponsorships run on a month basis. So it's a full month starting from the first of the month, and I think that's why they want these dates to be like this. And the other thing, so points number 1 and number 3. I think, if I remember our discussion, Brian, we said that we basically need to go back to your original implementation and to do a validation in the controller.
Yeah, so I can probably do 1, 3, and 4, and then Andre is going to do 2
Yep.
and 5.
Yeah, so 2 and 5 is done, right, Andre?
Yep. Yep, they are done, yes.
Okay. And have they been merged?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, so that's done and done.
Okay.
Yeah.
1, 3, and 4, got it.
Okay. Can you do them, Brian, can you do them as 2 separate PRs and maybe 2 separate chores then on Jira? This validation on the model as one, and then the controller validations separate.
Sure.
All right. And so I think that's where we stand.
So is 208 going to get merged then, and then these are going to be 2 more tasks?
208,
Did I build it on?
208 is merged already, is it not? Yeah, it is. If we've delivered it to the client, it's merged.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Why do we have a refactor of an importer in code review still?
Because Craig hasn't answered my question about, well, he kind of has, I guess. This is it's a task with many subtasks, and he's done a part of it, and that part has been merged. But there are other parts that haven't even been started yet. So I think it actually, what should happen is this should go back probably to in progress, and more subtasks should be added to it. But I want to clarify with him before I do that. And this story, 276, basically I worked on it, and I had a pull request, and then kind of as part of his refactoring, Craig also added this validation to it. So my pull request, I closed it, and we're focusing on his now. But Actually, at this point, it's up to me to make sure that that validation is fully incorporated in here. So that this is on me right now.
Okay. You know, I'm starting to find out that it's not there. Can we try to use swim lanes here? Can you go to the board?
Yeah, we can try.
Because I've tried it on another project and it seems not bad. It imitates a real physical desk better. Swim lanes and swim lanes by story. What other options are there? Stories, right?
There is queries, stories, assignees, and epics.
Stories, okay.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the board. In this way we can see in each story what tasks do we have, and when we finish all tasks we can move the story to done. If we not finish all tasks we not move it to done, but it's all stories are grouped into under that. So what do you think, guys, about it? Right. And other issues, it's all issues that isn't a story. They are all in one place.
Right. I say let's give it a try.
Let's do it. Yeah. And as you can see, with update orphan list Excel file format, all tasks, subtasks are finished, but the story haven't finished yet. So when client accept, we can move it to done. And update orphan list Excel file format, it seems that all stories are done too, so it can be moved to done after the client acceptance.
Great. Okay.
Let's just try to see how it works for us. Because you can use the same filters and easily filter tasks.
Right.
Okay.
So what stands in the way of deploying to production at the moment?
Everything that's flagged. So this is OSRA 208, and we need Brian to do those two chores that or subtasks that we just talked about. For Excel list format, I need to understand what the feedback from the client is and figure out how to address it, or if it needs to be addressed. And for this, I think I just need to do a bit of work myself, but probably also to coordinate with Craig a little bit to understand, to make sure that we, because we're working on the story together effectively right now, so I need to look at his code and then probably insert some of my code into it. And that's it. Once these things are done, then we're ready to go.
Okay.
Pavel, what do you think about a retrospective on Monday then, tomorrow?
I think tomorrow I can't. We can try it on Tuesday.
Okay, and that should be fine too.
Yeah, tomorrow, because I'm not sure that I can participate even in Scrum. Yeah, I don't know. But you know, no, on Tuesday, yeah, on Monday I can't. Yeah.
Okay.
After a Scrum one.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, guys. Is there anything else?
Yeah, it's not so urgent, but I did submit a PR for 293, I think is the number, with the Rails stuff, so if anybody wanted to look at it and give me feedback, that could be useful.
Do you know why it's failing?
No, I'm going to look at that, and there's some commits in there that are messed up too, but just feedback on the code would help while I fix that stuff up.
Yeah, all right.
Because it contains some pretty important stuff as far as user authentication and whatnot. So, yeah.
Okay. What else? Well, the other things that we have outstanding, I guess, is we need to make a decision about our style guide. And has anybody given any feedback to Robbie about his GitHub stuff?
You mean that PowerPoint presentation?
Yeah.
I used it and it looks good to me.
Okay. All right. I think those are the only things that the only additional things that we need to mention.
Can I briefly ask you? We already established the workflow with GitHub, or with Git at least. What is your workflow with code review? How do you? What is the convenient way to do the code review? When you see these changes that Brian, for example, makes, do you need to go back to your editor, local editor, and see the code in general, or is it usually enough for you to just look at the changes here?
It's usually enough to do it all within the GitHub because if you, oh sorry, I'm on the wrong repo. If I go to, if we take any one particular pull request, excuse me, then you can see, for example, that here Christian is deleting this line and adding this block in its place.
Yeah.
So to me, that's usually sufficient.
Okay.
But I mean, well, it's obviously a personal preference.
There's those little things you can click to expand more lines too, and you can also show the whole file if it's not enough.
Yeah, so you can, if you want more context.
Okay.
Here.
Right.
And then the way we've been handling them is, first of all, everybody is welcome and encouraged to get involved. So, look through the changes. If there is anything, questions, comments, missing comma, all is fair game. So you click right here and you can leave a comment.
Okay.
And
Yep.
yeah, sorry, Brian.
I was going to say, pay attention to what line you leave the comment on too, because whichever line you leave the comment on, when that line changes, then it basically hides the feedback. So intelligently select which line you click to leave the feedback on, because that's the line that you would ideally want to see different.
Yeah. So for example, if I have a comment about this line here,
yeah,
I shouldn't leave it here.
Oh.
Because then Christian will, let's say he thinks that my comment is valid and he changes this line.
Right.
But GitHub sees that there's a comment on line 33 and line 33 hasn't changed.
Right.
So that comment still shows up.
Right.
And at the end, once you've gone through all the code, especially if you haven't left any comments, but you think that everything's okay, just on the main page of the pull request, leave a comment and say looks good to me or looks ready to be merged, anything like that, because that lets me know that people have looked at it, have reviewed it, and it seems good.
Yeah, and I was looking for, I already know that there's a problem with the commits, and I know the test is failing. That's not really the feedback I was looking for. I mean the actual code, because those other things will be fixed.
Yeah, sure, Brian. Yeah. If in that case, if somebody's tests are failing, it's going to be obvious to everybody. So there's probably no need to point it out specifically. But yeah, anything else? There is no comments too small. Anything that you see that should be changed or you think should be changed, comment on it. Okay, guys.
Do you in any case, are there any situations when you would pull the pull request to your local machine and sort of play with it
That's happened, certainly, yeah. So yeah, you would end up setting up the other person's repo as a remote, and then pulling from it.
Can you very briefly show the how you would do that? Are you doing this? Will you clone it in a different directory?
No.
In the same
No.
directory. Okay.
So for example, let's say if we're talking about Christian's pull request here, I can. So this bothers me about GitHub actually, is that this is not a link. So I cannot go directly to this branch from here. But what I can do is I can go to his repo. And take this, or actually rather this, take this address and then go to my shell.
So you will need to make a different remote repository.
Yeah. So
Don't you have to go to the branch first? You're on
no, you don't.
Mm.
So locally, for example, I can show you.
You're not screen sharing. I don't know what.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, I need to change how I'm screen sharing. That's why. I need to present. Okay, sorry, it'll flicker. Okay, can you see my terminal?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. So you can see I did git remote verbose, and I already have Brian's Motisems and Craig's repositories as remotes set up here. So if I wanted to add Christians, I would say git remote add. No, is there a dash or no? I can't remember.
Without dash.
Without, yeah. Give it a name, and then no, that's not it. And then do that.
Yep.
Okay. So that remote's been added. I can see that it's there.
Right.
Now I can do git fetch. So I get all of Christian's branches locally.
Then you have access to the remote.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously I don't have push access to it, so I couldn't just simply push something to your repository. But what I could do is I could submit a pull request on your repository, which is something that we've done in the past.
Right, yes.
It doesn't matter for this project, but I just want to throw in there, you can actually push to somebody else's repo if the settings are right, but not on this project.
Yeah. Yeah, if I try to do it now, it won't let me.
Yeah,
So,
if you're collaborating on the same project, it is possible to push.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
But then what I can do is, for example, check out Christian and what was it? So I can check out this branch. Now this is locally now. And what you can see is I'm now in this detached head state. So I can play around, but once I go back to a different branch, everything will be lost. If I want, I can do this, get checkout -b, new branch name, and then that will create a local branch on my repo that will have the code from Christian's branch. So in the past, what has happened, for example, is one developer started to do some work and then for whatever reason couldn't finish it. So you would go through this process and then create, basically take their code like this, create your own branch, put a few more commits into it, and then push it up to your repo and submit a pull request. And you will have both his commits and your commits in that pull request. All right.
Yeah. And also one probably final question. Or again, concerning GitHub, when you are sending a pull request, right? It shows you that you might have several commits. And when you switch between commits, right, when you go to the latest commits, I believe it will show you only the changes in this latest commit. When you are doing the code review, is it the problem because you have to keep in mind both the changes in the previous commits, right, and the change in the latest commit, or is it?
No, it doesn't. When you go on the pull request, so again, if we go back here,
Right.
You can see that there are 3 commits here,
Right.
and they've all changed something. When I go here to files changed, this is the summary of all 3 commits.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks.
Sure.
Nice.
All right, guys. If there's nothing else, then let's call it a day, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you, Nick. See you tomorrow.
All
Okay,
right.
good night. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Good night. Bye, everyone.